Excuses are the currency with which you buy failure, but expectation mixed with execution is the currency with which you buy success.
A lot of people do not understand the power of going live on Facebook and during a challenge. And when they do that, some of the people would be like, I had no idea I could speak on camera.
You got to visualize vividly, verbalize voraciously, and one day you'll actualize automatically.
So a lot of people believe that when they do the first challenge, they're going to make 6 figures, 7 figures out of the blue when they haven't done challenges before.
And not only is the audience changed, but oftentimes the speaker is changed, because as you're speaking to others, you're hearing it. And so he said, I don't just speak to change the audience, I speak to change me.
All right. Have you ever sat down and thought about when your breakthrough is going to come? When would you be finally on the path to success? When can you get that one thing you have always wanted? Today, we are going to interview someone who has been on his journey to give his students the breakthroughs of their lives. I'm talking about someone who has been inducted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame as well as the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame. He's one of the less than 100 people out of 8 billion people who have a 10th degree black belt. I know, right? And not just this, he has spoken in more than 50 states and 27 countries across the globe, where he's also gotten someone who paid him $1,000 per minute of him speaking. I know, right? So he has done multiple challenges as well, and one of the most famous ones has been the 21-day breakthrough challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Dr. Stan Harris, also known as Dr. Breakthrough. Welcome, Doc.
I'm so excited. Well, thank you very much, man. It's a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure to meet with you. And so, Muzz, I appreciate you, man, and looking forward to having a great time.
Doc, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for saying yes to be on the podcast. I was like, when I texted you, I was like, okay, I'm just going to take my chances if he's going to come or not. But you replied, you were so humble in coming up and supporting me on this podcast. Thank you so much and welcome to the podcast.
Well, man, thank you. And I appreciate anybody like you that's adding value to people. You know, so many people want to rain on people's parade. So many people are so negative and fighting and back and forth. But when I see somebody like you who's building, somebody like you that wants to add value, I want to do it. As a matter of fact, when I first started speaking, man, over 50 years ago, I remember I used to say, man, if folks wouldn't pay me to speak, I'd pay them to listen. And I used to pay them to listen. Now I get paid now to speak. But anyway,
I would love to be on that journey myself.
But let me first give a disclaimer that, by the way, one of my sons just got me this new shirt. I love it. So I always tell people it's Dr. Breakthrough. I can't provide the breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. And when people follow the prescription, God Almighty provides it. And the breakthrough is exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. It was even like with this podcast, you had some technical difficulties, right? Well, a lot of times, Muzz, in my earlier days, every time something bad happened, which, by the way, every time you listeners think about this, every time you make up your mind to do something good, do you ever notice there's barriers, there's roadblocks, there's setbacks? Well, I was one of those guys who used to think, well, maybe, especially if you're, if you love the Lord, you're like, well, maybe the Lord doesn't want me to do this, right? And it's like, no, maybe I just need to break through it is what I need to do. And so I just started breaking through stuff. And by the way, I never called myself Dr. Breakthrough. Willie Jolly and I, now he's Dr. Willie Jolly. About 24 years ago, we were speaking at Howard University here in the States. And he said, Dr. Stan, he said, branding's everything. He said, man, I know you got a doctorate in divinity and PhD in martial arts and a few credits away from Doctor of Naturopath, which is helping the body get healthy without medication. He said, but he said, the way you speak on breakthroughs and the way when you speak to crowds, you write things on boards and bricks and you break those things, kind of like on my book. I don't know if you can see that. I stack up bricks and write things on them like fear, procrastination, doubt. And then I break the bricks, demonstrating although things are hard, with enough focus, determination, and training, we can break through the hard things. So he says, like a person has a problem, they go to a doctor and the doctor writes out a prescription. He said, you're the guy that has the prescription when people need a breakthrough. I was like, man, I appreciate those kind words. I don't know if that's true, but I promise you one thing. I will live the rest of my life to make sure it is. And it's stuck. Wow. And now they call me Dr. Breakthrough.
Dr. Breakthrough.
But I want everybody to know I needed more breakthroughs than everybody else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you have had yours and you're still having yours at the moment when you're going through the journey. and the amount of people you have helped get the breakthroughs is like phenomenal. First of all, tell us where to get that t-shirt, like that hoodie, because I really want to get one. So if we can get that, I would love to have one.
Okay. And so say that again. Get what
Like,
now?
where can we get that? Where can we get that?
Get what?
That hoodie, Dr. Breakthrough.
The
So you would
shirt?
want, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. We'll have to make it available on drbreakthrough.com coming very soon.
Uh,
Okay.
okay.
By the way, I wish I could show you. I don't know if you can see the back. Uh, you
Oh
see-
yes, your breakthrough is guaranteed.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that's the title of my book. I've got a 7-step breakthrough formula that people are guaranteed to get a breakthrough. By the way, a formula, Muzz, is something that works every time. This is why I love what you do. And we're actually going to incorporate some of the things that you do with what we do, because a formula is something that works, get this now, every time by everyone who works it in every situation they work it in. Okay, let me say that again. I don't think the folks heard me. Let me say it again. See, this is the beautiful thing about systems and formula. Formula is something that works every time in every situation by everyone that works it. Now, if you don't work it, it won't work because nothing works until you do, right? But once you get a formula, my friend, a proven track record of formula, and you have a system. And by the way, in my book, I talk about systems with an S. System stands for save yourself time, energy, money, stress. And if you like to save yourself time, energy, money, stress, you got to utilize systems. And again, the formula is the thing that once you learn that formula, and again, you can apply it to any situation, anytime, anyway. And so that's what I've been doing in my life. And like I said, this year, by the way, for 2024, my motto is more breakthroughs than ever before in 2024. So we're talking about bigger, better, and bolder breakthroughs.
Wow. I mean, you just answered one of the questions that I wanted to ask. I mean, when I was doing the research, like I found out this amazing quote that you have written probably, and it mentioned that if you know me based on who I was a year ago, you don't know me at all. My growth game is so strong. So let me reintroduce myself. Right?
Well, you know, one of my mentors, Muzz, I learned the concept from one of my mentors, Bill Bailey. He had a mentoring program called Your Growth and the Greatness. I was like, wow. And he said, your growth, because the funny thing about it, like Les Brown and I would travel and we would speak, and he would always say stuff like, there's greatness in you. There's greatness in you. And I was like, well, that's kind of a nice little motivational thing, you know. And then one day I was reading in my the scripture, the holy book, it says, 1 John 4:4, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. I was like, whoa. And then I got to thinking, wait a minute, Les was also mentored by my mentor, Bill Bailey, William E. Bailey, who, by the way, back in the 70s, no email, no fax machine, everything was face-to-face. He built a company grossing $64 million per month, but he started per month.
Wow.
No email, no fax machine, no website. But watch this. But he started off in an outhouse and you know, house without any electricity, and had to go out back to go to the bathroom, no inside toilet, right? Outside, right? In the hills of Kentucky. And but he started studying, he started reading books, he started seminars and so forth, and growing. And he grew to be this guy that, like I said, had a 110-foot yacht, Sabre jet, chauffeur, you know, all this kind of stuff. At one point, he's able to give away 5,000 toys to 5,000 orphans and so forth. And but he when I was mentoring with him, I paid a lot of money. When I found out about it, I said, look, I buy everything you got. I want to learn from you. And one of the things he said was, I didn't start great, but he said, I found out everybody can grow into greatness. And that's why some people get mixed up, because they think you're either born great or you're not. And now my main message is around that. And I'll give it to you real quick. Let me be quiet and let you ask the questions. But here's my main message, and I love this. Every master was at once a mess or at best mediocre. Therefore, every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master. Now, whenever a mess or mediocre person becomes a master, you now have a message that if you market to the masses, you can make millions, right? And so one of the things I love with you and your service, you're helping people to market to more masses through the challenge model, which is powerful, practical. So again, thank you, man. And And at your young age, bro, that's what I'm saying. Man, Jeremiah said, "I'll get me unto the great men who've known the way of the Lord." So in other words, the principle is to get around people that know more, that are wiser. And by the way, now that I have this gray hair, at first I didn't want it. I was like, "Oh man, I'm looking old." And my wife said, "Oh no, baby, you look debonair with that gray hair." I was like, "But Les Brown doesn't have gray hair." She said, "Baby, I ain't married to Les Brown. I'm married to you. You look 10 times better than Les. You look sexy." I was like, "Ooh, okay, let me grow out my." So now I'm 63 years. Here's the word, wise. Oh, come on now. Anybody out there, if you're over 30, don't say old. Put the word wise after that. It makes you feel better, right? So here's the thing, though. But one of our greatest desires is to connect with someone or a group of someones who can empower us to be, to do, and to have what we secretly know we can become and achieve. Because deep in the heart of every man, every woman, we know we can be more. We know we can achieve more. We know, but we just need the right catalyst. We need the right group of people. And I'm so glad for people in my life. This guy this morning inboxed me from Kenya, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, I just listened to this talk you did." He said, "Man, could you please come here and speak? I never heard anything like this." I was like, "Man, when I first started speaking, they used to say they never heard anything like it, but it wasn't the good way. It was the bad. It was the bad way, but I just stayed faithful, and I was a mess, but now I get to be a master." So out of 8.1 billion people in the world, there's only 3 categories. Well, first of all, I say there's 2 categories of people, spiritually, believers and non-believers, but 3 categories of people in business and life. And that is, first of all, those who get this now, they're a mess, but they either don't know or don't believe they could be a master. I want you to get that, because that used to be me. So I was a mess, but I didn't know I could be a master. And when I first heard it, I didn't believe I could be a master, right? So the first category are those who are a mess or mediocre, but they don't know or believe they could be a master. The second category, we're talking about out of 8 billion people, it doesn't matter what country, what content, high class, middle class, low class, no class. There's only 3 categories. One, those who are a mess or mediocre and don't know or believe they could be a master. Number 2, those who are a mess, but on their way to being a master. So I call them a master in the making. And then number 3, those who are a master, but they messed up. So I call them a master in the remaking. And I've been all 3. Come on now.
Wow. Wow. I love that. When I was hearing you speak on that other podcast that we were on, you were mentioning about how we have to reset the goals, right? And now you talk about like how you need to remake. Once you become a master, you can redo it and start like remastering your stuff once again, right? Because there's no mastery at the level where you're perfect, right? You're always learning, and no matter what level you're on. So I mean,
when I start off, I was always a student. Then I got to start being a teacher, and I was mostly a student, sometimes a teacher. And then I got to be a better, more proficient teacher. Then I got to be mostly a teacher, but always a student. And now that I'm a quote unquote master, I'm always a student and but mostly teaching, right? But I got to put my blue blockers on again. Let me put those back on. There you go. Okay.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that really hit deep, because I'm at the stage where you call it like master in the making.
Right. But you got a head start though, because you started. See, most people at your age. See, here's the thing. I tell people. See, I don't know what I don't know, but I do know what I want to know, and I want to know what I need to know so I can do what I ought to do to get my next breakthrough. Now, how about you? Well, but most people your age, they're in that area where they think they know. So they know so little, but because they don't understand how expansive the world is, they think they know a lot. So they're not interested in learning. They're not interested in growing. So I really applaud you, because you're hungry, you're young, but you're hungry to learn and grow. And the reason I believe you'll be massively successful even more than you are now is because now you're doing podcasts like this, so you can help listeners, you can help other people get into this wisdom and learn some things. And I think that's the secret of my success. Now, everybody's got different belief systems, but I go to God and say, God, fill me up. I need some wisdom. I need some powerful things to teach people. And then he gives them to me. And then I teach. I give it all out. And I say, okay, I'm empty. I need some more, please. But I think some people, what they do, they get some, they hold on to it. They wonder why they don't get any new. Well, you got to get rid of what you have, right? So it's a
Wow.
of getting
Wow. That's
something
powerful.
and then pouring it out to somebody else, right? And then
Mm.
I'm constantly getting something and then pouring out some. I'm constantly reading and studying, getting something and pouring it out. I'm going to seminars. I'm learning, getting something and pouring it out. And then one time, me and Jim Rohn, we were speaking together, and he said something that was so powerful. I was like, whoa! And here's what he said. He said, one of the reasons I love to speak, he said, is because not just do you get to see the audience changed, and I love when I speak to audiences and I see the light come on in their eyes, or I get to be the one that helps them to believe in themselves. But Jim Rohn said this: not only is the audience changed, but oftentimes the speaker is changed, because as you're speaking to others, you're hearing it
Wow.
and faith
Yeah.
by hearing. And so he said, I don't just speak to change the audience, I speak to change me. Now, what I do, I find things that change me and then I speak on it, is what I personally do. But here's the thing, Jim Rohn's right. Even though it changed me, when I speak on it, it changes me even more and it goes even deeper. And I'm getting a deeper understanding because I'm helping other people. And so I love what you're doing, because again, what you're doing is you're ensuring that you're going to be massively successful, because you can't, what was it Zig Ziglar said, help enough people get what they want and you get everything you want. Well, you can't keep
Yeah.
helping and empowering other people without being empowered yourself. And so again, I
Right.
can't say it enough. I
Wow.
wish we had more people your age and your generation that weren't so me, self-centered, and said, you know what, I'm going to be other-centered. And you even created a business model that serves humanity and helps other people reach their dreams, helps other people reach their goals, helps other people reach their dreams, which means you're going to reach yours also. And this day, of course, if it's live, Dr. Martin Luther King Day here in the U.S., well, it's not about Dr. King. It's about a whole group of people that came together. He was one of the leaders, but it's a group of people that came together. But here's the thing. People talk about Martin Luther King had a dream. I'm like, no, you got it wrong. He didn't have a dream. The dream had him. And it's time for people to wake up and stop dreaming and start putting it in practice. I put on my Facebook thing today, dreams, capital DREAMS, dream. It stands for divinely, well, let me stop. Would you like me to tell you my acronym for dreams?
Yes, of course, of course.
I wanted to make sure. Okay, so dreams, I get that from my wife. Okay, but anyway, by the way, any women out there, let me give you my beautiful wife. I call her my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight. Matter of fact, could you show the family picture if you don't mind? Muz? I had 4 children, she had 4, so we got 8 altogether, right? That's the whole clan there. And we did a vow renewal on our 15th or 16th anniversary, and all of them were all together. But my wife, I call her my ABCD, adorable brown caramel delight. And we are so opposite. And so I tell people, opposites attack. Now, if you're not careful, opposites can attack, but the successful opposites, we learn to adapt. Right. Wow. So a lot of times when she says, so I'm super like, and she's really calm. She's always like, baby, just breathe. It's okay. Just breathe. But anyway, here's one thing she'll say. She'll say, baby, can I ask you a question without you getting upset? Well, yes, ma'am, of course. Right. So anyway, but I wanted to ask that question so you can take the picture down. But thank you. And I appreciate our family. My wife taught me there's no amount of success in the world, business, church, sports, etc., that can compensate for failure in the home. And as a matter of fact, the greatest success is when you create success in the home and it's a foundation that creates greater success in the world, in business, in church, and whatever thing else. And so I'm so grateful to her and her wisdom. Matter of fact, Mel, she taught me something when we first got married. I married this beautiful woman. I was like, man, it's going to cost me the rest of my life. I gladly pay, but it's going to cost me. And she's like, baby, we don't want to spend money. I was like, whoa, what'd you say? She said, no, we only want to circulate money. I was like, that sounds, what does that mean? She said, when you spend money, you're giving it out. It's gone forever, never to return. She said, well, when you circulate money, it goes out, but then it comes back, a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment. And I was like, wow, from now on in the Harris household, we're going to look for ways to circulate our money. And so I'm so glad to have a beautiful wife that's also brilliant. And her favorite statement to me all the way is, baby, just breathe. Just breathe. So I tell people, I'm like the kite all over the place, and she's the string. Okay, big boy, just
Wow. I mean, like, it's so great that you have a very good supporting wife. And I mean, I uh, like in my family, like not in my own family, but in relatives, I have seen a lot of marriages breaking. And I mean, there has been some things that weren't putting right on in some way or the other, because of which that happened. But the message that you shared, that's really powerful, Doc. Thank you
Wow.
so much for sharing that. And
Oh,
I mean, like,
my pleasure.
when you mentioned that there are only less than 100 people who have gotten the 10th degree black belt, right? Can you talk to us about that? Like, what impact has that had in your like business journey, your coaching journey, journey so far?
Sure. Well, let me again. I hope you don't mind. I just want to read a little bit of the back of the
Oh,
book
sure, of course, of course.
because so it says from getting tarred and feathered as a 6-year-old boy to becoming a 10th degree black belt champion, business leader, author, and speaker. Dr. Stan Harris has had to break through unbelievable barriers. Allow him to empower you to experience a massive breakthrough. You may never be the same again after you read this book or listen to him speak. Now, here's what I want your listeners to get. You were genetically encoded to experience breakthroughs. It's part of your very DNA. Your you beat over 40 million sperm cells to the womb and broke through the wall. So yes, you beat them all. You came in first place. So you are championship material. Your second, now that was your first breakthrough. Your second breakthrough was your actual birth when the water broke and you broke through the birth canal. So you may not have been aware of it until now, but you, my friend, are a breakthrough master. So the challenge is now being given, and that is do what you were designed to do. And that is break through every barrier that tries to hinder your success. This is your birthright. This is your destiny. And this book will give you the simple step-by-step formula that you've been looking for. So now is the time to break free from procrastination, from fear, from excuses, from doubt, from negative thinking. You will no longer be stuck, but rather free to succeed. You, matter of fact, you must, and everybody else out there, but you are unstoppable. Here it is now. You can only be deceived into thinking you can be stopped. Oh, oh, oh,
Wow.
oh, oh, what? So,
I love how you play with words. I mean, it's amazing. Wow, wow,
well,
wow.
so yeah, there's a guy
Wow.
named Ted Seubel who wrote the book. Hold on a second here. The New Think and Grow Rich. I got a copy of it right over here. Now, Napoleon Hill Foundation only allowed one person to rewrite the book. It's called The New Think and Grow Rich. This guy, Ted Seubel. And the beautiful thing is he obviously he autographed it to me here. But he actually asked me, he said, Doc, he asked me to write, if I can find it in here, it's in here somewhere, but he asked me to write it in the beginning here of the book. And so I was so pleased by that. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Well, anyway, it's in there somewhere, but I got to write in. I thought that was amazing that he would ask me to write. But here's what he said to me though. He said, Doc, he said that he said, I know they call you Dr. Breakthrough. He said, but you know what I want to call you? I said, uh-oh, what is that? He said, you're a wordgician. I was like, oh, come on, man. You know I'm a minister. I don't get into magic. He said, no. I don't mean like, he said, but you're a wordgician. I said, what in the world was wordgician? And he said, and here's what he said to me. He said, uh-oh, I just dropped it. Hey, see, you ain't got to be perfect on these things. Just be you. Anyway, he said, well, even in your, as a minister, he said, you preach the gospel, good news, right? Gospel. He said, when you break that down, it's God's spell. Ooh. And he said, he said, here's the power of words. When you go to school, it's called spelling, right? Spell. It's called spelling. So he said, so you do in a good way, you put a good spell. He said, you put words together in such a way, it makes it easy for people to remember. And it's like you put them in like this good frame of mind, this good spell that they can do more, have more, and be more. So he said, you're Dr. Breakthrough, but you're Dr. Breakthrough with the word-gician. And I was like, okay. I'm a word-gician, man. So, but I do love words. And, one of the things that's amazing is when I be younger and I'd hear people speak, I was like, man, how did they, and I used to say, I could never do that. How did especially ones that did without notes. I'm like, that's crazy, man. Like I could never do that. And I always want to give your learners, here's a key to one of your breakthroughs. Anything that you look at somebody else and do and you say, I can't do that, that's a key that you, my friend, are designed to do that same thing. You just got to break through that doubt, that limiting belief. So one of the main things about the martial arts, and of course, I got beaten as a 6-year-old boy, tarred and feathered, literally thrown out in the middle of a field to die by a gang of teenagers. And somebody, thank God, found me, rushed me to the hospital. But I made up in my little mind that I'm going to learn how to protect myself so next time somebody jumps me, I can beat them up. Well, my mom wanted a free month of karate lessons, Shotokan Karate, and I have 4 brothers, and none of them were interested. I was the only one I would go and watch, and man, they were kicking and chopping and screaming and hollering. I thought this is great. And my mom, she had won a free month, so at the end of her free month, she really liked it. So she started paying her money. And I always tell people, free is good, but if you're serious, you're willing to invest or circulate something. Come on now, because when you circulate, it's going to come back. But anyway, so she started getting better and better. 1 month she got too good. Now, Muzz, you got to ask me, say, what's too good?
What's too good?
Her and her boyfriend got in a fight and she knocked him out. When I saw my 5'1" mom knock out
that was circulated.
I was like, this is the secret. This is what I got to learn. Now, I didn't get started. She did Shotokan Karate. I got started what's called Isshin'ryu Karate. And then once I got 5th degree master level, you're able to start your own style. And I started my own style, crescendo. But at any rate, but it's the crazy thing about it, they were like, well, listen. I said, no, I want to learn how to fight. They said, no, we can't teach you. I said, no, but I want to learn self-defense. They said, no, you first have to learn self-discipline. I was like, no, I don't care nothing about no self-discipline. I want to learn. They said, no, if we teach you self-defense without self-discipline, you'll be like an uncontrollable weapon. As a matter of fact, you'll harm other people and you'll harm yourself. And so I said, okay, I don't care. Well, whatever I got to learn, let me learn it so I can get to the self-defense. But the self-discipline is what changed my life forever. I couldn't see. I posted on Facebook the other day. Self-discipline is the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes snack of all champions. Come on, somebody. See, it takes self-discipline. See, most people, they don't have that self-discipline. See, discipline says, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do even when I don't feel like it. As a matter of fact, I got a little 3-sentence thing that will help people to be better in whatever they do. Can I give it to them real quick?
Yeah. I'm down. I'm noting it.
So you got to do it when you feel like it. Number 2, you got to do it when you don't feel like it. Number 3, you got to just keep doing it until you do feel like it. Oh, come on, somebody. See, whatever it is, do it. See, everybody can do it when you feel like it. That's fine. That's the first step. But guess what? After desire, it can start you off. But after a while, there's so many distractions, so many hard times, so many roadblocks, and you're not going to break through it unless you learn to say, I'm going to not just do it when I feel like it. I'm going to do it when I don't feel like it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep on doing it until I do feel like it. And so that's what I learned to do, my friend. And so in practice, they would teach us, if while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced. I was like, huh? He's like, yeah. In other words, you got to work out to where your body says, I had enough, I'm done. But your will says, no, you're not done until I say you're done. You keep going. And interesting note, if you find anybody who's massively successful, there's one of 3 or 4, I think, 3 main things in their background without exception. Now, sometimes there's exception, no exception to this one. They either got military in their background, martial arts, or a whole lot of misery.
Oh, wow.
Military, because they impose discipline. Martial arts, they impose discipline. Or misery. See, somebody, well, actually it was me, Pain and Adversity, who said this, causes some men and women to break, it causes others to break records. And I decided, instead of being broken, I decided to be a record breaker. Matter of fact, I got a thing that I wrote. It's called Broken versus a Breakthrough Man. Can I give it to your listeners real quick?
Sure.
I refuse to be a settled or broken man. It's my right and choice to focus on being a breakthrough man. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept person, humbled and dulled by having the state or job take care of me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail if I have to until I succeed. I refuse to live from month to month, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I prefer the challenge of life instead of the guaranteed existence of so-called security. I'd rather experience the thrill of fulfillment than the comfort zone of familiarity. I would never bow to any master or disaster, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, unstoppable and unafraid, boldly, full of faith, and say, this, with the help of God, I have done and will continue to do, because it's my time to shine. It's breakthrough time. So I'm telling you, my friend, instead of being a broken man or broken woman, you can say, no, I'm going to be a breakthrough man, a breakthrough woman, or a breakthrough teenager, or like I was, a breakthrough child. Come on now.
Wow. My God. I think you should be like you should have a book with all of your quotes, those amazing quotes, and I'm sure a lot of speakers are gonna use that. I mean, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Rob, for sharing that. And I think self-discipline is one of the biggest thing we need in business as well. I mean, even in our journey, being young entrepreneurs, those who are just starting out in their journey and they're only getting motivated by money, but once they start disciplining themselves and understand that like it's just what you get in return of helping people, that can break a lot of limiting beliefs and get them to the next level, right?
Right. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
matter of fact, one of the main things that you have to learn to do is you got to discipline your disappointments. Ooh,
mm,
because see, there's so many disappointments in life, and sometimes what breaks people is the disappointments, because we get our hopes up and we're like, okay, this one's gonna work, and it doesn't work, and we're like, oh my god. And then that disappointment just I think it was Zig said, you don't drown by falling in the water, you drown by staying in the water, right? And one of the keys in my mind that I came up with is the breakthrough is when you bounce back better. Ooh, let me say it again. When you fall, the breakthrough is that I bounce back better. Now, I don't know in India where you are if you have, but over here we used to have what's called a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
And that is that thing, you throw it down the ground, it's a hard surface, it bounces right back up. You know what? So what happened was in my earlier days, at first I was like an egg, right? You drop an egg, it just breaks.
It takes, yeah.
Yep. But then I learned to become a Super Bowl, because when you break it, and anybody gonna clean it up, you got to clean up your own mess. And if you don't get up, you stay down there, right? So I decided to be like a Super Bowl, and that is the heart. And life's gonna test you, by the way, right? And the harder life throws you down, the more I just bounce back. Come on, somebody. And so that's the difference. See, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. If care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns. Many a struggler turns about. When they might have won it, they stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the cloud of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. Victory may be near, though it seems afar. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you just mustn't quit.
Wow. Let's just have 1 minute to sing that in. That was wow. I need to re watch the whole podcast to take the best notes from this. I mean, thank you so much, Rob. It was amazing. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for really having it done. And yeah, let's get. I mean,
so this says limiting beliefs, and right in the middle of the word beliefs, you notice it's a 3-letter word, LIE. That's a lie.
mm-hmm.
And most of our beliefs, if they're based on a lie, we're going to live a very limiting life. And so for most of my life, I was living based off the lies. And by the way, if you fight for your limitation long enough, God may allow you to keep them. Ooh, let me say it again. See, people say, but you just don't understand, it's so hard. I didn't have a good family. I didn't have a lot of support. I didn't have this. I understand. I used to be this. I used to talk. If you fight for your limitations long enough, God may just allow you to keep them. Listen, one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, why am I fighting for the thing that's fighting against my success? Oh, let me say that again. Why am I fighting for the thing that's fighting against my success? In other words, I was fighting for my excuses. I was fighting for my limitations. By the way, I got a 21-day breakthrough challenge. And there's one guy, Matthew Thomas, he went through, he said, Doc, one of the most powerful things you said was, you said excuses are the currency with which you buy failure. And
Wow.
but get this out. So excuses are the currency with which you buy failure. But get this now. But expectation mixed with execution is the currency with which you buy success. So you determine what you're going to buy. In my early life, I was buying failure because I was using my excuses. I was using my limitations. I kept, again, my life. But I found out this: you either can live this way or this way, and that is limitless success. Well, most people want to have the limitless success, but you first have to break through the lies or switch the lies. And that's why I love when I speak, I get to train people. It's like I'm rearranging the furniture in your mind. It's like I'm challenging your thinking, your thought pattern. Because a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you think you are beaten, you are. And if you think you dare not, you won't. If you like to win but think you can, it's almost a sense you won't. If you think you will lose, you've already lost. For this powerful truth we find, success begins with a person's will. It's all a state of mind. Life's battles on its go. So the stronger woman or man, but sooner or later, those who win, those who first think and then know that they can. And I know you can. You know why? Because I didn't believe I could win, but somebody who saw something in me and believed in me. And matter of fact, most of my early days, I never believed I could do anything, but somehow God would put a mentor or somebody around me and they would believe in me. And so I would just give it a shot because they thought so. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I was like, I'm just going to give it my best shot because I wouldn't let them down. And then I was shocked when it worked. And I was like, oh. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, why don't I just go ahead and start believing in my own self? So what I tell people is you got to learn to believe in your mentor's belief or your God's belief in you until your own belief kicks in, like training wheels. So you got to go. Listen, the more I study, the more I find out there's some more lies I believe in that I got to root up. The only limits in my life right now is based on the lies that I believe. So I keep studying, I keep learning so I can find more lies so I can get rid of them and replace them, because you're either going to live this way or this way, and I want to be this way. So as a matter of fact, I told people I'm changing my limiting beliefs to liberating beliefs. Ooh, I'm changing my limiting beliefs to limitless beliefs.
Wow.
Ooh, because now I can have limitless success. So I want to break this.
You're gonna break it,
but I'm seeing about and it. Ooh,
wow.
It's kind of hard. but again, these things are hard to break through. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying with enough force, enough focus, we can break through. So what I want to do is we'll see. Now, do not try this at home. Okay, do not try this at home. This is just an illustration purposes only. But I want to see if I could break this. I don't know if the screen will get bigger by any way.
Okay, I'll make it bigger.
There we go. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So again, we want to break through this. Now, what I want to do is if I break this, I want you to say, if I break this physically, I want you to commit to breaking through this mentally and psychologically. Okay, so Muzz, can we have an agreement? You want to speak for the whole audience, right? If I break this physically, you're committing to breaking through the lies that have been holding you back. Well, I'm glad you didn't believe the lie. You're too young. By the way, you know why I started when I was young? I figured by the time I get middle age, I'd be pretty good. Anyway, so we want to do this. So real quick, we're going to hit this, bam, and it should break. Now, usually we yell. People say, what do you guys yell for in karate? It hurts. No, just joking. But a yell is a loud yell of grown use to bring out your inner strength. So usually right before we break something, we yell, and then we hit it. Now, if you hear me yell and then hit it, and it doesn't break, and I yell a second time, that's not a Kia. That means call the ambulance, brother. All right, but seriously, these limiting beliefs, I'm telling you, it keeps so many people back, and we just got to break through it. I know it's scary looking. I know it looks hard, but listen, my friend, you just got to focus. Now, here's what people try. They say, well, I want to try. No. To try is to lie. To try, I tell people, grow up from being a try baby to a committed man, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes
I
every
agree.
once in a while I hit it with my
Wow.
head, it doesn't break. Well, guess what? Now I just break it with my head. It don't matter. It's gonna break. One way I'm gonna break this. I'm not trying, I'm committed, right? So I want
Mm.
people to grow up from being a try baby to a committed man or committed woman. Okay. So here we go. Let me say breakthrough time.
Breakthrough time.
Okay, come on,
Breakthrough
roll out.
time.
Come on. Breakthrough time.
Breakthrough time.
Yeah! Come on,
Oof.
somebody. So we just
Woo.
broke the limits right off our beliefs. And when you break the limits off your beliefs, guess what? Now you can have what?
Limitless success.
Come on, somebody. And if you want that limitless success, that's why I write books and that's why I have my challenges, because I want to challenge your thinking. I want you to have that instead of the lies, I want you to start believing and say, no, I want to have limitless success. If it happens for somebody, it can happen for anybody. By the way, my story is simple. I was a nobody that God made into a somebody. And now I'm committed to telling everybody he can do the same, if not better, for anybody.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. I'm so glad that we were able to break those limiting beliefs, and and I commit though. I mean, this was so enlightening that I'm gonna literally sit down to write down all the lies that I've been telling myself,
Yes.
and we're gonna like break through that, right? So you talked about that
That's
you
what I
were
do with
going.
my live seminars, by the way. When I do live seminars, we do that.
Uh-huh.
So I travel the country, preach in churches, speak for businesses, and especially network marketing companies. I mean, I was blessed to build a team, my wife and I, 1.5 million people on our team worldwide, right? So we wrote a book on how to build a big team fast, and we love doing those things. But again, you got to understand, I was talking to my daughter the other day, I said, baby, you probably don't know this. I used to be quiet. And she's like, Dad. And I was like, and I didn't believe in myself. She's like, Dad. My wife said similar things. She's like, you're the most aggressive, outspoken, like, strong believing person that I've ever seen. And I was like, yeah, but I wasn't always that way. And here's the danger. The danger is this, Muzz. See, we see people after the breakthrough, and are there and again, it's breakthrough. And my whole goal is to get people, instead of having one major breakthrough in your life, to go from breakthrough becomes a lifestyle. That's why I put together my 21-day breakthrough challenge, where
Mhm.
it goes from breakthrough to breakthrough to bigger breakthrough to bolder breakthrough, and just it becomes a lifestyle of, okay, I'm break through this, right? Well, here's the thing, my friend. When you have that kind of mentality, by the way, nothing in the world most of the things in this world were declared impossible by someone else before they were done. Thus, you
Right.
got to have a breakthrough mindset, and that breakthrough mindset usually needs to be fostered by a breakthrough mentor who will teach you some breakthrough methods. As a matter of fact, the fastest, easiest, most reliable way of mastering any skill is through mentors. I mean, it was Socrates who mentored Plato, and then Plato mentored Aristotle. Aristotle mentored a guy named Alexander the Great, and then Andrew Carnegie mentored Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. It was Napoleon Hill who mentored W. Clement Stone, and then W. Clement Stone mentored Jack Canfield, who became the co-author of the billion-dollar book series, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Benjamin Graham mentored a guy named Warren Buffett, and of course, Warren Buffett has mentored millions. It was Dr. Benjamin Mays, the chancellor, the president of Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, who mentored a young teenage boy that became known as Dr. Martin Luther King. Matter of fact, it was Bill Bailey who mentored Les Brown, and then Les Brown mentored millions. One time he spoke to over 80,000 people in the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. It was Jim Rohn then who mentored millions, and he mentored this young guy named Tony Robbins, who's mentored tens of millions. In the Bible, Moses mentored Joshua, and Joshua mentored 3 million Israelites, and then Elijah mentored Elisha. Elisha mentored a widow woman who lost her husband, was about to lose her children, and he showed her how to start a business, and she was able to pay off all of her debts. By the way, that's the first home-based business in the Bible. Paul mentored a guy named young Timothy, and then he mentored the church. And then Jesus mentored the disciples, and he said something very powerful. He said, the works that I do shall you do also, and greater works than these, meaning the mentee cannot just do what the mentor can do. The mentee can double what the mentor does. So I've been to 28 countries. My daughter's already been to 39. Come on.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that is so powerful. I mean, it's obviously like the mentors. If the mentors are good, I mean, you're absolutely gonna multiply the number of influence and number of people you make the impact on, right? So just as we can see, Tony Robbins has fed more than 1 billion meals to American, right? American, right? He's one of the first probably who has donated more than 1 billion meals in America. And when I when I
That's
see
because
that,
of the
the
pain.
billion with a
That's
B.
because of the pain he had when he was a child. That's what I'm saying. See, I tell people within your pain is hidden power, and you can use that power to produce profits. And so he
Mm,
made it where he was going to make other people profit because of his pain, and he decided to do something about it. And so everybody listening, you got pain you're going through, but that pain wasn't made to destroy you. That pain was
mm,
really made to propel you, my friend, and literally to help force you, like in the one movie Enter the Dragon, they said we forge our bodies on the fires of our wills. And sometimes, my friend, if we're too comfortable, we won't do much. So we got to be in that crucible of being crushed. You don't get grape juice from a grape unless you crush it, right? And you don't get
mm.
the oil out of the olive unless you smush it, right? And
Wow.
sometimes that's what happens. By the way, the only difference between a diamond and a piece of coal is a diamond, get this now, endured the test of time and responded correctly to pressure.
Wow, wow. That absolutely, absolutely. Wow.
So
Mm.
yeah, so that's why again we put together our 21-day breakthrough challenge. My wife and I
So
are one
about
day
the 21
love challenge.
mhm.
Uh,
About the 21-day breakthrough challenge, that was one of the first ones you started in 2019, right? So
yes.
can you talk to us about like how did you start with challenges? How did you come up with the mind that okay, I
Okay.
need to start doing challenges?
Okay. So again, the challenges I started doing was totally different than what they're doing today. But I have made a shift, and then because of what you do, I'm going to be able to shift a little better now. But anyway, so I just designed my challenge. Like for instance, people kept saying, "How did you get from being where you were to where you are now?" Like, dude, like that. And so I took the 21 of the most powerful things that changed my life, that took me from being a mess to a grandmaster in the martial arts, took me from being a mess to a grandmaster in the speaking arena, took me from being a mess in business to a grandmaster, right? And to where I could build a team of 1.5 million. And so I took the 21 main things that changed my life and I painstakingly boiled them down to just 3 to 5 minute videos.
Mm,
And so the 21-day breakthrough challenge is scientifically, scripturally, and socially designed. It's a new concept. It's called micro coaching because so many people are so busy, right? And so
mm,
micro coaching, I just say, look, just give me 3 to 5 minutes a day, and within 21 days, you have at least one or more breakthroughs guaranteed. Are your money
mm,
back? Guaranteed. And so we have some people, and what happens is, like I talk about in my book, there's some rock, like a rock you can hit sometimes, they said 100 times, and there's not even a crack. There's nothing.
mhm,
And the next time you hit it, boom, it breaks right open. And so sometimes what people have to understand is it seems like what you're doing is not working. So these principles, what happens is one upon another, and sometimes by the 5th day, person gets a breakthrough. By the 7th day, but for sure by the 21st day. So I have it sitting on the platform, and then people can go there. And by the way, once they pay for it, they have access to it all year long. And there's we have whole companies that go through it together, right? And so I had a 10-day advanced challenge. I got a 21-day quit your way to success challenge. By the way, how many ever heard this? Winners never quit and quitters never win. Well, I know we're over time. I got to stop. So Dr. Breakthrough says, no, real winners always quit and the right quitters always win. And that is they quit the things that keep them from winning, or they quit the things that keep them from winning more. So first you have to have an attitude, I won't quit. But once you're successful, now there's a bunch of stuff you have to quit or else you won't maintain it, right? So anyway, so then I started finding out that people were doing, so I did a 5-day, what's called comeback challenge, right? So that's where we just for 5 days, I got different speakers and we did 2 meetings a day. And at the end of those, but here's the problem though, Muzz, I didn't know back then the back end them into something more. I just, and I did it for free, right? We had like 500 some people go through it, right? It's and then I did a 5-day financial breakthrough challenge. I did I've had like 10 different challenges that I've done. And then this guy named Ali Madawi, we connected, we worked with a company together. And so we learned to do it. Then we would back end people into the company offering, right?
mhm.
I
Yeah.
still going to have a big ticket premium value offer, right?
Premium value offer, yeah.
Exactly, right. And now, of course, I'm going to redo it and, like I said, work with you where I'll do like a 3 to 5 day breakthrough challenge and then back end them into the 21-day challenge, but also include some coaching where it'll be a more high ticket premium value thing, right? But I was just doing these challenges and people were loving it. And one of the things I showed them was we don't change unless we're challenged. But if you take the word change and the word challenge, just as LLE makes the difference. So from challenge to change, it's LLE. And the L stands for lie. So I get them to stop believing the lies. Second L stands for laziness. And the third E stands for empowerment. So when you do that, my friend, you go from being challenged to being changed. And once you're changed, come on, okay.
Wow. You just gave it a really good name. I think I'm going to use this a lot when I'm sharing some things about challenges. And I think just as you mentioned, challenge is one of the greatest ways you can actually impact a lot of lives, in the sense that people like have to do something, right? Like, it's not like you just see a training video, you go through a course, and you just.
Well, hey, I didn't do that in the martial arts. I didn't learn the martial arts by going and watching them, right? No, they said, okay, come on, you're going to do a punch. So they said, put your hand, and you're going to twist it like this. Now we did Isshin'ryu, so we have a vertical punch, right, instead of the right. So they said, come, and when you do that one, you pull this one back like this, okay? And then they would. So first they told me, then they showed me. And then I had to do it. By the way, I got a training on the 5 things the martial arts taught me that changed my life forever, that can change other people's lives. But what you're saying, that's the difference in challenges and the difference in seminars. Because see, in martial arts, they didn't just tell us, they didn't just show us, we had to do it. But then we had to keep doing it even after we thought we knew it. Like, hey, sensei, Japanese word for teacher. I got it. He said, no, you don't. I said, I could do it with my eyes closed. He said, that's not good enough. I said, what do you mean? He said, you got to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again until you mastered it, till literally it becomes part of your subconscious and without thinking. And so we would do flips and things like that. I'll never forget one time. And of course, Myron was one of my students back then, Myron Golden. And we started off in the same class, and then I became his teacher. But what happened was we were on a motorcycle in college, and I was trying to show off. Kawasaki 900. What was I thinking? I was on gravel, and I hit that thing. Boom, the whole thing went, and Myron and I went both over the handlebars. And they's like, how did you do that? All I heard was this, oh, Myron's on the ground. Matter of fact, he showed me the other day, he still got scrapes on his elbow because, I mean, oh my goodness, he tore the skin off everything. But he threw his elbows out to catch it, and But and so I'm trying to help him up, and they's like, wait a minute, how'd you do that? And I was like, do what? They said, well, you and Myron went over the handlebars, and of course, Myron landed on his elbows and ground. You flipped in the air, you landed on your feet. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then see, now Myron was in it, but he hadn't mastered that yet, right?
Yeah,
right. So the difference is that's why you got to do a thing over. And so here's what I tell people. Read the book until you become the book. Oh, attend the challenge until you are the challenge.
Yeah. Wow.
The quote until you become the quote. And so you're right. So at the challenge, people have to have things to do, or else it doesn't really mean things. And what's even more powerful is when you get people in the challenge to get them to go live on Facebook and try to teach somebody what they learned, and then invite them to the.
Absolutely. I mean, you just said it on point. Like, a lot of people do not understand the power of going live on Facebook and during a challenge, and like being the challenger, being the coach. You have to inform the person in a way that they get empowered to do the Facebook lives. And when they do that, some of the people would be like, I had no idea I could speak on camera. Right. And that is one of the breakthroughs that they get first before they go through the thing that you have actually delivered during the challenge. Right. And I think,
by the way, that's one of my big ticket items, premium value offer, is my breakthrough speaking course, because a lot of people are afraid of public speaking. I'm like, first of all, every time you speak, you're speaking in public. What are you talking about? You got to get over that mindset. You're a public speaker, right? And like my wife, who's very, different than I am, and very kind of not bashful, but just quiet, right? And so I said, baby, because she kept turning down speaking engagements. I said, baby, just speak to one person at a time. I said, you're great at speaking. So she did that. and she blew the crowd away, and they invited her back. She's like, no, I wasn't trying to get invited back. But what I'm saying is this, but there's some things that you can learn that'll get you that break. Because again, it goes back to those lies that we've been believing in. And again, I'm telling you, if you do challenges out there, I'm telling you, this young guy, Muzz, he's got the goods. If you don't do a challenge, you need to get with Muzz, right? And if we have to, we'll all collaborate, but let's get you doing some challenges, because you're going to be able to change people's lives, but your life is going to be changed. And then when you learn to actually offer a VIP upgrade where people can, you can have a free model starting off and then have a VIP upgrade, right? And then whatever, but you can start, it's the coolest thing when you're like, man, now I'm making money doing what I love to do, helping people, and they're paying me for it, right? So that's why I always love a home-based business, by the way. And again, I'm going to say it, I'm shouting to the rooftops, get a hold of Muzz if you want to have a breakthrough and challenges. Get a hold of the young brother like no other. The young master disaster, can't say it no faster. Too strong to be weak, too sweet to be sour. You can't take credit as all God's power.
Wow. Really appreciate it, Doc. And I wanted to ask you this, because you have been like on this constant journey of learning and actually doing the thing so that you can actually attain mastery, right? So a lot of people believe that when they do the first challenge, they're gonna make 6 figures. If they do the first challenge, they're gonna make like 7 figures out of the blue when they haven't done challenges before. And if they do the first one and they fail, I mean, there's nothing called a failed challenge. It's always like you learn something about the audience that you can improve on next time. But they do not have the courage to go back and do another challenge just because they had the first one failed. So what would you suggest? What has been your experience on constantly learning through the challenge curve?
First thing I would suggest is, seriously, shameless promotion, go through my 21-day breakthrough challenge. Seriously. One of the things you're going to learn is this: the master has failed more times than the student ever thought of attempting. Let me say it again.
Wow.
You're going to learn. That's one of the days in the breakthrough challenge where you have to learn that, say it. You have to, the master has failed more times than the student ever thought of attempting. So that's why I said breakthrough versus broken man. I will, if I have to, I will fail until I succeed. So let me give you 3 words that I teach people, and that is this. It's part of my challenge also. I will until. See, if you put this, if you say Muzz will until, right? So here's the thing. In successful people, we learn to do it this way. Is a 3-letter word, I think, is outside of the word yes, the second most powerful 3-letter word. By the way, you got to have me back. I do a whole thing on yes. Y-E-S, you expect success. See, the reason I say yes to stuff, because I expect success. The reason you say no, folks, because you ain't expecting to succeed. But when you learn to expect success, you can say yes. Somebody offers you something. Yes. Why? You expect success. Yes. Y-E-S. You expedite success. Yes. Y-E-S. You embody success. See, if you keep saying yes long enough, yes, 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 open up your mind to the possibilities. But here's what powerful people say. Outside of yes, the next 3, here it is. Are you ready? Yet. Yes. Yet. I just have my most successful challenge yet.
Wow.
Yet. I just didn't hit the success I want yet. But guess what? It's coming, and I will until. I just didn't do it yet. See, when I started martial arts over 50 years ago, my friend, I was terrible. I tripped over my own feet. They literally called me Mr. Baboon and laughed and make fun of me. Now, I had a strong constitution, though. I said, y'all better laugh now, because one day I'm going to whoop all of y'all. That was the wrong attitude, but it came true. Anyway, by the way, my instructor, Grandmaster Walter Dotson, by the time he finally passed, well, a couple years before, he said, whenever I pass, Dr. Stan Harris, a.k.a. Dr. Breakthrough, he's going to inherit the whole system, my belt, everything. He's going to take over everything. And that to me was a great honor. But I'm the guy that used to trip over my own feet. Hold on, let me show you something. I wish I would have thought about this sooner. Let me see. Here's a picture. Where's it at? Okay, no, this. Oh, in the middle.
That's you?
That's me.
Yes,
yeah.
Wow.
If you just saw me back then, you never thought that a couple months later I'd be doing this, and a couple years later, and a couple years later more, I'd be doing this, breaking these bricks, or laying on the bed of nails and having one of my students break bricks off my By the way, Myron used to always do this all the time. He'd be the guy breaking the bricks with the sledgehammer while I lay on the nails, right?
Wow.
So what I'm saying is, and that's why, again, part of my 21-day challenge, because it's always about reworking the mind. And that is, you gotta learn what I say, visualize vividly. So what you got to do is I'm giving you my challenge right now. So you got to learn to see yourself doing a successful. See, in the martial arts, people get this thing all mixed up. They think of meditation. Well, and my style of meditation, true meditation, was really visualization. And we would, before we had our match in kumite, Japanese word for fighting, the sensei, we would close our eyes and say, okay, I want you to see your opponent punching at you, and you blocking the punch or parrying the block, which is redirect. I want you to see him kicking, right? And you step into the side blocking. I want you now to see yourself punching, and you get the point, and the judge says, Ippon, point, you got it, right? I want you to see yourself kicking, side kick on the side of the head. I want you to see yourself a roundhouse kick. And over again in our mind. By the way, there's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz, where it talks about two basketball teams. One practiced physically, the other just practiced in their mind. And when they put the two together, they literally were equal. And in some cases, the one that just practiced in their mind won. Why? Because the ones that just practiced in their mind, every time they shot, it was a perfect shot. Every time the guy came, they blocked the shots. But see, when you practice for real, you may miss a shot. You go, man, Harris, what's wrong with you, man? Come on, get that thing. Right? And so watch this, my friend. So you got to learn that, number one, visualize vividly, right? When I talk about the book, when Walt Disney died, they were at Disney World, and his brother-in-law happened to be there. And they said, isn't it a shame that Walt didn't live long enough to see Disney World? Mm-hmm. His brother-in-law said, no, you got it all wrong. Walt saw this a long time before anybody else. See, first, a building is constructed. Get this now. I'll talk about my 3 times. Number 1, in the mind. Number 2, on paper. They call it blueprints. And then number 3, it's constructed. But the gal who created it, they saw it first in their mind. Then they got an architect to put it on paper, and then they got a contractor to make it where everybody else can see it. But before you can see it, somebody already saw it. And that's how you have to be successful. You got to see it when nobody else can see it. And a true visionary like Martin Luther King is somebody who sees something when other people can't and works hard enough to get it constructed. As a matter of fact, he put things in place. He still didn't see it before he died, but he said, I'm on my way. I know it's going to happen. And guess what, my friend? And so you got to, in your mind, you got to visualize people signing up for your challenge. You got to visualize people coming to your challenge. You got to visualize people inboxing you saying, man, this is changing my life. By the way, you don't have to know much. You just got to know one step more than they know. And then go study some more. And then give them the next. And then your mind visualize you saying, well, if you'd like to go further with me, I do have this offer for you. And I want you to visualize people saying, oh, yeah, that's all it costs. Wow. You got anything else? I want you got to visualize vividly. You got to see when you sleep. Listen now, when you have a dream, the brain doesn't know the difference between that which is real and that which is vividly imagined. That's why when I was a little kid, we used to jump roofs, and I was jumping this roof, and this guy said, hey, kids, I'm in the middle of the air, and I stopped to look down. Well, guess what? I went down. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, and I was like, the guy said, hey, kids, I went, and I'm falling. I'm like, I kept my wife's like, baby, you okay? I'm like, yeah. But it was like I was falling for real. But so guess what? Your body gives that energy. So watch this. This is so good. Before, I never break bricks until I've already broken a brick. I broke that board before I ever broke it. In my mind, I saw myself talking. I saw myself, right? And I saw it break effortlessly. Now, trust me, when I first started, it wasn't effortless. Right? So here's what I'm saying, though. You got to visualize vividly. You got to see it. Muzz, I need you to visualize. I need you to see people coming at you left and right saying, Muzz, please help me with my challenge. Muzz, you the guy. I need you. I used to do that and see people have me come to speak when I was terrible. I thought I was terrible, but guess what? But I kept working on it. I'm going to throw this at you. You got to be, oh my goodness. Okay, you got to be committed to the process of being bad and feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. Ooh, let me say it again. You got to be committed to, I said committed, not try. You got to be committed to the process of being bad and feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. See, I started martial arts. I was bad. I felt bad. I knew I was bad. They told me I was bad. But the sensei was committed to help me to get good. And I was committed to allowing him to help me. And that's why you need mentors who can help you. And guess what? He got me good. And now, my friend, I'm so good now, they take me all over the place and pay me all kind of money. Hello. Visualize vividly and then verbalize voraciously. You got to say, people love to take my challenge. People love to buy my material. People love to buy my book. People love to have me speak on their podcast. People love to bring me to preach in their church if you're evangelists like leaders love to have me leading them. People love to take my challenge. People love, you got to visualize vividly, verbalize voraciously, and one day you'll actualize automatically.
Oh, so powerful. Wow, and I so much relate with that. I remember Myron saying this when he mentioned that what is a moving picture to us is a snapshot to God.
Right.
Yeah. And
if you're a producer, you already know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, he visualized it before actually creating everything that is right now.
Every creator does that, Muzz. Every creator does that.
So powerful.
If you're going to go from being a creator to a conqueror, you got to visualize vividly, verbalize voraciously, and one day you'll actualize automatically. And then before you manifest it, you got to say, I will until, and it just didn't happen yet. It just didn't happen yet. I just didn't hit the jackpot yet. One day I'm going to be so good. They're going to have me speaking all over the place. One day they're going to ask me, how'd you do that challenge? Matter of fact, you ought to see yourself being interviewed by somebody saying, your challenge was so powerful, we want you to tell us what you did.
Absolutely.
Right? The mother, before she has the baby, the mother in her mind, she's seen it happen with others, so she knows what's going to happen. She knows it's going to be a painful process. She knows it, but she knows that once that baby comes out, there's going to be so much joy and so much. And so guess what, my friend? So the mother oftentimes will see the baby being born before the baby's even born. Before the baby's even born, some mothers see the boy graduating before the baby's ever born. And if you want to release your power, listen, you are powerful. You just haven't realized and released your power. That's what mentors help you to do. Help you to realize it and then release it, my friend. And when you release it.
Wow, that is so powerful, Doc. That is so powerful. And
all right, we're way over time, man. I got another interview coming up here in 5 minutes.
Okay, so I would just like to ask one last question. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, Doc. It's been an honor. Just one last thing. What would you say to someone who's on the fence and still procrastinating on doing a challenge?
Okay, just do it. Isn't that what Nike said? Just do it. See, the greatest book ever written says, if any man will do his will, he shall learn of the doctrine. Wait a minute, that's backwards. See, we want to learn first and then do. But God said, no, if you're committed to doing, then you can learn. So if I want to learn martial arts, I can't sit back and say, well, one day I'm going to get good enough to get started. No, I just go down there and get started. And guess what? They take me. I don't even know how to put my gi on right. I don't know how to tie the belt. They got to help me. I don't know how to bow right. I don't know how to stand right. You know what I mean? I didn't even know you're supposed to take your shoes off, right? It's like, no, you can't come. You got to take and they're going to teach you. So here's one of the things, again, in my book, my friend, here's one of the things I teach in here. And this is one of the greatest breakthroughs ever that I've received to help me not to procrastinate, because procrastination is the assassination of your destination. So the largest nation of failures in the world are those who procrastinate. So here's what I had to learn. Here's my breakthrough. Now, we're not talking about bridges. We're talking about life and business and a challenge. So write this down, and I promise you, it'll change your life. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. Because once you get it going, Muzz will help you get it right. Oh, let me say it again. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. Once you get it going, see, God will help you get it right. Muzz will help you get it right. I'll help you get it. Listen, they tell me, and I talk about getting in my book, an airplane is off course up to 90% of the time. Well, how in the world does the airplane make it to its destination? They said he's constantly making adjustments.
Wow.
But somebody like the airplane, you're on the ground. And Martin Luther King put it best. He said, you don't have to see the whole staircase before you take a step. Just get started on the steps you can see, and you'll be up there. A car is impossible to steer if it's sitting still. But once it starts moving, it steers pretty easy. And the problem you're having is not that you're not as smart or not that you don't this, not. The problem you're having is you just haven't gotten in action. Because once you get in action, God's going to orchestrate circumstances and situations your way. And like I said, then you'll maneuver, look, okay, I forgot I was supposed to this. Okay, well, the next challenge, I'm going to do this. Oh, the next, right? But now you got it going, my friend. So yeah, so just get going. Because again, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. Because once you get it going, God will help you get it right. This book was supposed to be written 20 years before I wrote it. People kept begging me. But I said, I'm too busy. Then one day somebody helped me and said, Doc, you speak real well. Come into our studio and just speak your book. Just outline it, speak it, get it. And I now I teach. People pay me money for me to teach them what I'm teaching you now, how to write a book without writing a book. You transcribe the book. I mean, you get it, you speak it, you get them to transcribe it. Now that's where the hard work is. Then you have to do all this stuff, right? Blah, blah, blah. And I got it done. But guess what? There was all kind of mistakes in there in the book. But guess what? It was done, and people are buying. Matter of fact, people bought it before I even put it out. I did a pre-sale. Hello, somebody. And guess what? And people bought it, and I was like, oh, man, all this is a mistake. Oh, there's a mistake. I never got one book back from anybody that said it was a mistake. But guess what happened? I came out with another version. And I still found a mistake, but more people bought it. And then I came with a third version. So write this down. Version 1 will not be the best, but version 1 is 10,000 times better than version none.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Bill Gates didn't get Windows perfect. He just launched it. It's all messed up. People buying it, using it, and then he's starting making, right? Yeah. So true entrepreneurs, that's what, and you're entrepreneurs, you're going to do a challenge. So listen, just do it. Get the best, get this now, the best mentorship you can get some support, get some good speakers. I'll be glad to speak for you if you get a hold of me, and we'll talk and see. And then just do it. And next time you do it better. And next time you do it better. And by the way, when I speak, Muzz, I need a copy of this. I always get a copy of when I speak. Why? I listen to it. Well, one reason I listen to it is because I'm one of my favorite speakers. I showed up today, Muzz, because I heard one of my favorite speakers. Anyway, but when I speak to audience, they laugh sometimes. I say, look, but y'all got to understand, I'm serious when I say that. Because when I didn't like my speaking, nobody else did. One day I said, wait a minute. Why not? If I might as well just like me, because ain't nobody else liking me. I ought to like me. And when I started liking me, other people started liking me.
So wow.
The apprehension you're feeling is what you're putting on other people. You keep thinking they won't like you. They ain't this, they ain't. No, that's you doing that. And they're picking up on your own thoughts. Your thoughts are energy, my friend. You're sending that negative energy out. When I speak, there's positive energy. You know what? I like me. I love me. And because I love me, I can love you. And I'm speaking from a heart of love and compassion. And listen, my friend, and when I speak, I ignite and reignite a passion of people for life, for love, for the Lord, and for business. Some people don't like the Lord, but they like business. Some people don't like business, but they like life. I don't care. I'm just going to give them what I got. And I never say, well, if I give them too much Bible, they ain't going to like it. If I don't get, no, guess what? People just like it. Some people say, well, it's a little too much Bible, but I love your energy, right? That's what you love it.
Yeah.
So folks, I'm telling you, just do it. And the main thing is, again, when you got a mentor that can help you, because you're going to learn through mentors or mistakes, but sometimes mistakes cost too much. So learn from the mentor who already made the mistake, and you can maybe just pay a little something and get off a whole lot better.
Super powerful. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much for that powerful session. I really loved it. I'm gonna watch it 2 to 3 times after this as well. That
Check
was
out
super powerful.
drbreakthrough.com, Break, BREAK,
I'm
drbreakthrough.com.
gonna put all the links for your books, everything in the description, so everybody can go ahead and grab it
And
along with
make
your
sure you
channel.
get the internetmentor.com, the internet mentor. That's the one where it has the challenge on there. And I'd love to collaborate with other people and do a challenge too. And like I said,
Awesome.
you and I are going to be doing some business, and I'm going to help you get some more business because I like you. You the brother like no other.
Really appreciate you, Doc. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to host you today, and we are definitely gonna bring you on once again because we have so much to learn.
All righty. I'll go learn some more and come have something else to say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Doc.
Bye-bye.
All right. So with that, we come to an end of this session. I hope it was super, super, super valuable for you. And do share your best takeaways in the comments because we're constantly looking at all the takeaways. Last in the last podcast, Divyasi shared some really good takeaways that she got from the podcast. And if you have stayed till the end, I have a gift for you. I've made a free training that is going to help you kickstart your challenge from scratch. And we also have a 9-day launch your first challenge hosted inside of our podcast. Just go to www.beyondchallengespodcast.com and you can start your challenge from scratch from day zero starting today. Go ahead and see it, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe and keep creating for a change.